Hello, and welcome to the 5 Core Life podcast with Will Moore, founder of More Momentum. If you have not already, please make sure to follow and subscribe to the podcast so that you get notified when a new episode airs every week. And on this week's episode of the 5 Core Life podcast, host Will Moore sits down with Travis Huff, a business owner and podcaster, to discuss leadership and how to be a hero to others. Together, Will and Travis dive deep into building your dream career. They uncover how business owners can better inspire their employees and be better leaders, while also explaining how employees can be a hero to their bosses, do better, and get rewarded. They also discuss how to find the career that's right for you, and even some tips on using social media to land your dream job. Finally, they highlight the power of giving, and Travis shares his unique story of entrepreneurship. Are you ready to fire on all cylinders? If so, let's go. Everyone has the same 5 core areas of their life that ultimately determine how happy they'll be. Unfortunately, most of us have developed failure habits in each, and it's Will Moore's mission to help replace those with success habits to maximize momentum. After exiting his business for a combined 9-figure sum, Will learned it's not just about becoming an entrepreneur of your career, but an entrepreneur of the most important business you'll ever run, your life. And to crush it in your life requires firing on all cylinders in your 5 cores by continually taking action, building habits, and maintaining balance in each.
Here we are. Glad to have you. Loving it.
Let's go.
Read up a little bit more about you. This is our first time meeting face-to-face in person, so I'm excited to have you. You're a dad. You like working out. You like music. Tell me the best thing about being a dad. Let's get into it. Let's go.
I'll tell you right now, I've now owned the title Papa Entrepreneur, folks, because I get to spend my every waking day with my little daughter, 18 months now, every single day. And I'll tell you my favorite thing about it is our morning walks together. Not only do I get to usually listen to an audiobook, but she gets to experience and explore the world. And we've been doing that as a routine in this pandemic every single day, tracking it, getting at least 2 miles in, I say, before 8 a.m., getting the 5,000 steps and getting the heart rate going, getting the water in your body.
Yes.
And vitamin D right now, folks. I think the most important thing right now is also vitamin D during these times, a natural vitamin that things grow from. And so there's something to that in general. But that's one of the most special times, to be transparent with you, Will, is that the quality time that you get to spend with your family as an entrepreneur, you'll never regret. You'll never regret.
You are so right. And I was just talking, you mentioned you were watching before, just about how, there's a lot of different ways to look at this whole thing that's going on in the country and the world, the COVID. And it sounds like you're on the right side of it. You're looking at this as an opportunity. You are now spending more time with your family, your daughter, that you might not have before. And that's what I'm saying. And so it's like you take that step back and you go, okay, well, should we go back to the way things were exactly? And in my opinion, the answer is absolutely not. And I'm not saying some things, depending on your industry, what you do, some things need to be more, you do need to be in that team and more in person, but working from home, if you can do it, and then you can also, because, you got your course and you got your relationships and your work and your physical health. As you mentioned, you're getting your steps, your emotional health, your career and finances. And if you can try to figure out how to do that all and develop a routine at home, and you're spending a lot less time commuting, doing all those things, wasting that time. On the side of the employer, they're not paying all that rent and that overhead and whatnot. So it's very interesting. But like you said, vitamin D, the sunlight, you still got to get outside. You still got to talk to people. That's an important part of being a human being. So, I'm thinking it might switch to more of these types of, where you can rent out small, spaces.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So it's not absolutely just like these huge skyscrapers, but more like, okay, this is a space and we get together, and maybe it's only a couple times a week or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to see the entire landscape of business change completely, from having Zoom and having the capability to have FaceTime conversations seamlessly with your customers, in which they prefer, to be honest with you guys now, they kind of prefer that, as well as what we're finding with not only our customers, but our customers, clients, agencies, and just listening to people, and my podcast too, just listening to my guests, is that their businesses are actually somewhat thriving in these situations. And they're finding, Will, that maybe they'll actually be able to cut out some of the rent costs and be able to give more benefits to the team. And so that's the new normal, folks, is that you're going to live a happier life. You're not going to have to commute 2 to 3 hours a day. You might be able to live in a suburb, which we're seeing now in real estate transactions. People are wanting to move to smaller areas where they can work at home, create their own lifestyle, and then, commute in a couple days a week. Like you said, instead of having to be there every single day.
Right.
Happiness is the number one, folks, characteristic or trait that employers are wanting right now. And they've been wanting that before the corona. They wanted
right. You're absolutely right. And here's the rub. They weren't really doing much about it. And this is forcing, as I see, this is kind of forcing things to change. And the right employers are going to use this smartly as an opportunity to then say, okay, I'm getting more out of my employees. I'm paying less overhead, and I'm paying them less, or not paying them less, but they're getting it done, even more done in the same amount of time or whatnot. So you say, and so other countries have figured this out, by the way, before us. Not necessarily this stay-at-home work, although there's that too, but they understand fundamentally what you just said, which is that you have got to make your employees happy. If you want a productive, awesome employee, they have to be happy. It's not rocket science, people, but it's amazing how many jobs just don't even take that into consideration. It's like, here's your job, you do it. Oh, you're not doing it, you're out. And then people are feeling in fear of their job all the time, and they don't feel safe and all this, and they're not going to be nearly as good employees.
And you have turnover. Bottom line is you have turnover in those situations, and that's the worst thing you want in your business.
Absolutely.
Is to constantly have to be training new people, and you want to create a hero. Like someone, recent people I've interviewed on my show, Sean Castrina, would say, someone that basically is a clone of you. You want to create many clones of you in the world. And that's the way you grow many, many businesses. And it's hard to do. It's hard to do, but
it's real hard.
If you can think of it that way, folks, if you can think of it that way, my man Will, and I try to in my business, it's very challenging, but it's true, is if you can make these people better than you, why not? Like, why not? Why not make them better? Why not make them a better part of your business, a better part of you, and give them all the secrets and hot sauce, because that allows you to scale faster. And then at some point, what he would do, or other people, the best entrepreneurs, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, that what they would do is then they take their brilliant idea and they give it to someone else to build for them.
Yeah. Well, I love your energy. And that's the type of, employer that's going to be able to inspire. You got to be able to inspire, motivate your employees. Rather than lead by fear, which we all know it doesn't work, yet still so many leaders and stuff do that. I just had Mitzi Perdue on here the other day.
Okay.
She is she's the widow to Frank Perdue, the chicken magnate. We all eat Perdue chicken. And she's also the daughter of the founder of Sheraton. Which I didn't know. And she was telling me, and dude, talk about nuggets. This girl, they were just flying.
Oh my God.
I could have interviewed her for 20 hours. But one of the things you just said that reminded me of a conversation I had with her was her father went out of his way to let his employees know they're special, that their job is safe, and know that he was there 100% to support them and that they were a team. And she said that is the number one reason that hotel chain took off the way it did.
There you go.
Right?
That's insane.
It's like, he just treated them like his family and people that like you said, it's like, this is who I am. This is what I want. And he figured out how to connect to people's why, like Simon Sinek says, right? He got into their heart and their soul and said, I want you to want what I want. And he figured out how to do that. And it's not rocket science. It's make people feel special, treat them the way, you'd want to be treated, and let them know that, and like you said, turnover is one of these things that is just absolutely a nightmare with businesses. My former business, the turnover, even this, what I'm doing right now with this, more momentum in 5 cores that we've had turnover. And it's like finding good employees. When you find them, you want to hold on for dear life. Absolutely. And when you get bad ones, if the people just aren't there, you can tell they're in it for the wrong reasons. They're selfish. All they're here is for a paycheck. They're not here to actually treat the company like it's their own and work as a team. You got to get them off the bus immediately. And that's a hard lesson that I learned along the road with doorstep delivery was, keeping people too long and thinking, oh, well, they're turning around. Okay, well, I've given them this warning, or okay, I'm going to motivate them with giving them. And that's another thing, motivating people, giving them a higher salary. No, that doesn't work either. No. They're either going to be all in and they're awesome, and you're going to want to give them more money because they're doing so well, or the opposite.
Absolutely. And anyone that's listening, he just gave you the layup to how to earn more money is be awesome for your boss, and then they're going to want to pay you more. Be the person that's picking up the ball for them. Hey, boss, what can I do more for you? Hey, man, what else can you teach me? Hey, be the one that's willing to learn if you are working inside a business right now. And maybe you aren't. Maybe you're working on your business. But if you are working inside a business, be the hero for your boss. And that's the instant way that you're going to want to he's going to want to give you money. He's going to want to give you opportunities. He or she is going to want to give you the world because you're making their life a little easier. And that's how Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Zuckerberg, any of the greatest entrepreneurs out there, Gates, Warren Buffett, that's how they scale and grow. When Warren Buffett buys a business, he doesn't go in there and try to manage it. Hey, you check in with me, you do your thing. I own the business, but hey, you manage it. You're a great
I believe
operator.
in you. I have faith in you. You tie into that part of them that says, I don't want to let you down.
Right. Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. And obviously they're cashing out too at some point. Let's just be real. If you get bought up by Warren Buffett, any of these people, you're
it, right? It's
too.
a win. That's the thing, is that it's a win-win. Yet so many of us, we just, our instincts, we got these primal instincts, and they make us make bad decisions, and we tap into our lower selves, and we try to grab the low-hanging fruit, and we try to get ahead in the easy shortcut ways. But as Napoleon Hill, or actually no, that's another good book. But as Dale Carnegie said in How to Win Friends and Influence People, it's make the other person feel important. You want to build the unbelievably most deep, amazing relationships, fulfilling relationships, and then also at the same time allies that will kill for you, that will do anything to help you succeed. Make them feel important. Right. Take the focus off yourself, put it on them, be empathetic to them, try to help them succeed with their goals. Then it's literally just magic. It just happens.
Absolutely. And let them work when they want. I think that's the thing we're finding now with Zoom and with email and Slack and things like that. They've been sped up like this, folks. You're seeing businesses are able to work from home. And then in that model, like time is so precious in life, right, Will? Time is our most precious asset. You find it, you can work in really efficient windows of time. And then all the water cooler time and all the stuff you kind of have as BS time that you spend at work, you're kind of just, someone interrupted me here. Let's go have lemon cake. Here's someone's birthday. You find that a lot of that time you can now be spent doing the things you love, hobbies, passions, working out, the things that you love, and you still can have that check-in time. That's the Slack channel. That's the off-channel work company, fun channel. That's the Zoom where everyone can kind of be silly on Fridays or something. You can create ways of being fun. It's just now you get more time to enjoy your life, and then we're all realizing that. My dad, who's 67 years old, who's an accountant that's never experienced anything like this, never had thought he had to be working from home, had a nice office, has a nice office, still very nice office. But a lot of his team are so freaked out that they aren't working they are working from home because they won't come into the office since March 15th. And he is an older gentleman, so he's still kind of enjoying the fact that at some point he was forced to work from home. Now he's actually liking the fact of working from home, and he kind of that's his new model. He says that working from home to him brings gratitude in his soul, which is crazy when you think about it, because he has all this time to go from, I went from a bike ride to hop in the swimming pool, right into work, go take a break, go back into something else, listen to something else, read something else, take a nap. There's just so many things you can do, and then take a break, go right back into work. And then you have a much more efficient focus on your time. And if you can, that's another whole strategy. We could talk about it, but when you are at home, there is a huge benefit to not getting interrupted. There's just a huge benefit to not having 150 people possibly coming in and knocking on, hey, what's up, Will? Hey, what do you think about the game today? Hey, man, even if it's 5 minutes each, it happens all the time.
We're an ADD generation, and it's only getting worse and worse. And now we have a million things flying at us from every direction.
Hey, did you see this?
Devices and this, to be able to focus, you're going to get so much more stuff done. And what you just said ties into, so Tomar asked, how can I be motivated alone during a lockdown? It's what you were just saying. It's like, okay, well, what's important to you? Right. And then when you start adding that stuff in to there's plenty of stuff that you can do from home or outside. And it's not like you can't go outside. Right. We're not in like a nuclear holocaust lockdown.
Thank God for that.
And the weather's great out. It's going to start getting cold soon in a lot of parts of the country. So enjoy it now. Go work outside, go to a park, You know,
Yes.
and like you said, physical exercise,
Very
you know,
important.
doing Zoom calls with people that you love, cared about, pick up a phone, call a friend. Don't just text them. Don't just like their photo on Facebook. Like, you
Yes.
need that real human interaction. And then you start doing the more of these types of things, and you're incorporating these different cores into your life, right? The relationships, the mindset, the physical
Yep.
health, the emotional health, the career and finances, and you're gelling and you're firing on all cylinders. You'll
Right.
start to feel motivated, and if they play off each other, it's like a ripple effect. You start to kind of gain momentum in
Yep.
one, and then you're going to want to do more in the other, right? You're starting to your relationships are starting to improve a little bit. You feel better about yourself. You're going to go work out. You're going
Yep.
to get in better shape. You're going to have more energy. You're going to want to put more work into your career and your finances. It's amazing how it all plays together.
And if any one of those are off too, it will affect the others. Just like you said, the opposite way. So remember to look at yourself in the mirror quite often, because I have these your 5 right here on my task. If any of those 5 are off, mindset, career, finance, if your relationships, if your physical health is off, if you're the last one was the giving back, if you're not really giving back and not thinking about doing that quite often in your life,
Being selfish, greedy,
being selfish. Greed is the last thing you want in your life, folks. You do not want to leave this earth being known as Scrooge McDuck. Okay. You know, we hear the story.
It feels good in the short term. Again, it's that lower self stuff, right? And
Yeah,
sorry to interrupt you, but right.
Oh,
it's like
true. It's true.
Our primal instinct is I need more. I need to get as much as I can. I need to, because, you know, I never know where my next meal is coming from. Back in the cave days when it was like, you know, you weren't sure where, but we've evolved socially to where that's not the thing anymore, but yet our brains are still going more and more. I need. So
Absolutely.
just like you look at the dog, you look at your dog or your cat, it's like your dog is going to go for every little scrap of food he can get. But and so he's driven by that lower self, right? And God, I love you, Mason. No offense to you, but you know, that's the way it is. And so you got to be that higher self and say, well, if I really want to get what I want out of life, I need to not do what the 99% are doing, all fighting over those scraps down there. I need to actually start giving back to people. And the more I help and give, then that magical coming back.
It's insane. You can do it in so many different ways. You know, I do it on social media. I'll do contests where I'm giving a $5 or $10 Starbucks gift card. And quite often I'll have one of my wife's aunties or one of my cousins win, or people I don't even talk to, high school buddies win that I've been seeing on Facebook. Next thing you know, they get a gift card in the mail from your boy. It's $5 or $10 out of my time. It takes me time to fill out the mailing address. And I've obviously figured out, you know, you can send them links and codes now to not have to necessarily mail things. But the point is, there's so many things you can do at scale, from giving to having fun with people and having contest ideas during these times. Especially, this is what you need to do as a business owner, especially, but just as a human. You can do, anyone can do $5. Everyone on this live has $5. Take it out of your pocket and find a way to give it to somebody at scale. That means
and watch what happens when you do. See the ripple effect and how that plays out versus using that to go get a Starbucks coffee. Dude, you know, it's absolutely. Like, you know, it is truly amazing how that, you know, depending on
pay
how
for someone else's Starbucks. You know, like the trend of, like, you know, people, you've heard those trends of like someone buys the drinks behind them and then it just starts a ripple effect.
Paying it forward. Yep.
So give someone $5 or $10 in a gift card, let them enjoy a meal on you, and let them see how that ripples out in their lives and how they want to do that for others. Everyone can afford that. Peace, love, and respect is what we need right now. And that's just a fun way of being able to do that. And I do it in a game because it's a fun contest. It creates engagement, and it's just a fun way of giving back. Someone wins. When they do, they get to enjoy a meal, a Starbucks, something, and it was out of the grace of God. There was nothing. There was no intention there. So the intention feels amazing. And as you grow, as you scale, the best thing about making money, having investments, cashing out when you do win on a stock, or you do win on your you know, your cryptocurrency, or your business makes money, or whatever it is, it feels good, so much better to give some of that back. It feels so good. So whatever that looks like to you, I don't want to tell you exactly what that looks like, but everyone on this live stream, I challenge you, get a $5 card, you know, put it on McDonald's, Starbucks, Taco Bell, wherever you think people would like to go, Amazon, $10, whatever, you know, everything's valuable at this point. Uber Eats, $10, you know, and just see how that ripples out. And you'll never know how it ripples out, but it will.
I love that, man. And so speaking of that, with these gift cards, so tell us, I mean, the social media, you're in that world, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm fascinated by that world. When I couldn't get you on, I was talking briefly about how, you think you got it figured out. I've only kind of, I was on MySpace back in the day. Anybody remember MySpace?
Yeah, OG. OG.
And I was really into that. And I was like, I had my profile and I like created my background music.
Heck
and
yeah.
I was like, in my background, the pictures in my background. And then it went to Facebook. I'm like, can't do all that cool stuff anymore. And honestly, like I wasn't as into it, but now seeing in the business that I'm doing, in terms of trying to reach out and connect with people, how incredibly valuable it is, but how difficult at the same time. So why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, I mean, so I'll just tell you a little bit about my general background. I started at Disney, working at ABC Television. About 4 years into the business, I'm sitting down with a Starbucks with a buddy, Will. He says, hey, man, did you know people are probably going to need their Facebook pages managed, businesses? And I was like, dude, you're right. I put together PowerPoints. A few 6 months later, I first get my first check from a home builder. And from there, 11-year stories, history, dealing with lots of stuff. Obviously, right now, the Rona taking categories of clients out, still growing and still pivoting. But the transparent truth is, like I always believe, every great idea happens when you listen. So I'm so grateful I was listening that day to my buddy Jason at that Starbucks and not just letting that idea slide by. Because sometimes the best ideas, folks, are not yours. They're just an idea that you listen to, whether it was from your wife, whether it was from your friends. And a lot of times now it's just listening to your customers, because whatever they need now, if you're in a business where you can't sell them certain things, but they maybe need something else, listen to them and sell them that other thing. Maybe they need something different than you can sell currently, and you need to listen to them and sell something different, So my story literally started from me listening in 2009 to a friend and taking that idea even during the worst time that you could possibly think, Will. But it was the best time, because that was the start of social and digital. And that was kind of the end of broadcast, in that ABC Television was in a more demising situation with Netflix and Hulu and these companies just starting to kind of come on and take away and cut the cord and take away the attention span of the consumer. And that's really all it is now, is you have eyeballs and so do I. What do we spend our time on? Is it on social? Is it on TikTok? It's not on ABC Television right now. What are you watching on ABC Television? And that's the point, is basically how has that changed over the year? And it's been a great move, obviously, in that light. It was just listening, taking advantage of it at the right time. And I'm sure everyone out there right now can be listening and hearing what's going on in your world and take advantage of it,
Right. I mean, 100%, and you just kind of are bringing it full circle. We mentioned earlier how to win friends and influence people, about how it's like putting the focus and the attention on somebody else. That kind of ties into like when it's not all about you, you're opening your ears and you're listening to you're paying attention to other people. You're listening to what's going on around the world. You're becoming more aware, and the more aware you are, the more opportunities unlock for themselves. It's incredible how that happens. And I bet you've had people be like, oh man, you were so lucky. Your timing was so lucky with what you did. And I've had people say that to me about my businesses. So the first one I did was real estate. I got out right before the crash, because I was paying attention and I saw the writing on the wall. I was selling these plots of land where people unseen were spending insane amounts of money. And the banks were writing these deals, and I'm thinking, there's no way this can sustain itself. I don't even know if these people have money. How does the bank know if they're gonna be on? But it was like this frenzy, and everybody's like, I just got to get whatever I can. And then with my restaurant delivery service, it was like, because I was in that business where I was stuck in an office for 12 hours of selling the real estate, and I couldn't get out. I was like, how do I get anything besides pizza and Chinese? I'm so sick of it. How can I get my sushi, my salads, my healthy food? I was working out, physical health, and there wasn't anything. And so I was like, I paid attention to what was out there, and I said, this is what people need. This is what I want. This is what other people need. And then we started that company, and that's what ended up being the big one. But and then I can't tell you how many people were like, oh man, you were so lucky. If I had a dollar for every time somebody was like, oh, I had that idea.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what did you do? Right? You heard, you maybe, but did you act on it? And so that's the other big part, is action. You not just hearing it and getting inspired and then going back to whatever you're doing, but actually taking the steps, little ones, one by one. It doesn't have to be massive. People get so intimidated and scared.
It's like a stair step. It's like a stairs. You don't go, sometimes you don't climb the stairs in some situations in business. You take it one step at a time. Don't worry about the business is going to be so damn big you can't handle it. You hear that all the time from perfectionists. This is going to be the biggest idea. Well, get a check first, folks. If you can't get one check, it can't be a Venmo, a PayPal. You don't have a business. And the most important thing I'll say to you with that in mind, Will, is this. Just do you, folks. It sounds selfish, but the more you focus on you, the more you focus on your goals, your dreams, your passions, your desires, and do them, the more you can do for others. The more you can give to somebody, the more you'll be a better spouse, better for your spouse, better for my daughter, better for everybody. The more I do stuff like this, the more that I give of my time, my soul, my energy, the more that I receive. And it's not in a selfish way. This is what I'm doing. And that makes me better for my wife. This show makes me better for my daughter. And that's the most important thing, is to just constantly be doing, man. Be in the mode of doing it instead of, oh, I'm going to be doing this later. I'm going to be doing this soon. It's like, no, just get it done. Like,
right. And so to clarify, you for some people listening might have thought that was a conflicting message, but it wasn't actually. And I just want to make sure people understand and clarify what you just said.
Sure.
You have to be selfish in some ways. And in terms of, and I don't even like that word, but you have to, what I call it is slow down to go fast. And you have to put that spotlight on your life and determine, all right, what is it that I love? What gets my soul and my engines revved? What am I really good at? And then trying to figure out, okay, this is what I'm good at. This is what I love. Okay, is there a career path? Okay, I've got my purpose. You set your goals based on that. And then it's like, boom, then you just go and you start taking the actions, and there's going to be failures. You're going to pivot. You might have thought you're going this way. You're going to go that way. But then as you're doing it, then like you said, then as you're going through this journey, you're not still putting everything on yourself. You know what you want and you're moving forward, but then you're also putting your focus on other people and developing these relationships and allies along the way, which are going to only help you get to your goals and build it faster.
Dude, absolutely. I'm a pop entrepreneur, folks. I get to spend every waking day with my daughter. She's right here sleeping on a nap. If I didn't show up in every single way for myself, for the times that I get free, which is her nap times and when her sitter comes in a few hours here, and maximize that time with all these things that challenge me, then I get to show up for her even bigger and better, is all I would say to you guys. And you do. And the more you do for yourself, whether that's working out, mental health, meditation, getting things done, checking them off a checklist, getting things done, the more you create momentum in your life, the more you can do for others, the more you'll be able to give, the more you'll be able to help someone out. And it's surprising. You'll actually be able to open up more time in your life, because what happens is your business becomes successful. You can hire someone to do something else for you. You can hire a gardener. That helps his family out. Oh, I can hire a pest control person to do my pest control in my house. That helps his business out and helps his family out. And those things, the way that you can help people is through monetary as well as your time. Because when I free up my time to not have to do my pest control, now I can be there for my daughter. Now I can be, fully present in her life, because as you know, as a parent, or as anyone knows as a parent, this shit flies by like this. 18 months goes like this, 3 years, 5 years, 20, and so these times that I have are so precious, Will. And so it's not selfish to be focused on your goals, do those things, get them done, and then be there for everyone else. Be there for your wife, spouse, friends. Be a good person. Be there to help someone, because you've created so much momentum in your life that you have the ability to do that. It's like a beyond just, a snowball. You feel, your soul will feel this energy where you just can do way more than you even imagined. When you start challenging yourself, when you start doing things that challenge you and you get them done, you will have the ability to do so much more. Because as we know, they say in your mind only has 2% or whatever, 10% of what you can actually access. The more you challenge yourself, folks, the more you can do. And that's the beauty of it all. And you start to say, oh, wow, I can actually do this. I can actually get more done in my day than I have, or less done in my day, because I already took these days and I did this, and I can relax today, because everyone's different, and the point I'll say is that no one should live by someone else's model, mentality, etc. But find your own and get that thing done, baby. Get those things done in your life, because there's no one else that's going to do it for you. Just like there's no one else that's going to wipe your buns. That's real, baby. That's real.
And that's real. That's real talk. So, yeah, I mean, one of the things I was thinking when you're saying that is, when you want something done, give it to somebody, a busy person. And I think, the core behind that is people that get things done, it becomes like they're building that momentum and they're able to get more done versus people that hardly get anything done. It's the same. It's building negative momentum, and then it's like when they actually have to do something, like, oh, that was such a big chore. But if you're just rocking and rolling and you're cruising and you're actually taking action, doing things, and you start to build the confidence, that confidence increases, and then you want to do more stuff. You do more stuff, you have success, then that confidence increases, and then it's just like this. You're in the success loop versus the failure loop over here.
And you like thrive on it. You know, you really do thrive on that energy high, whatever you want to call it, that comes from checking things off on your checklist, getting them done, going on a podcast, bringing value to people. Hopefully someone on this show understands that your boy has your back. I want you to win. You have to want to win for yourself. Like my wife, who's a psychologist, tells me all the time, you have to be your biggest cheerleader. You have to.
That's right. If you don't believe in yourself, and that's the first core of mindset, then you might as well just throw in the towel. And that's how I used to be. And it doesn't happen overnight, but if you, like I said, you start taking action, you start having success, you start to believe in yourself more, your mindset starts to improve. And that's when you're off to the races. Anne's had a couple comments here.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had all this. So Anne, I want to address you. I know my passion and my purpose, but work is different. Industry is going through entire change. And then you were just saying, I had all this and do this, but still don't have a career. I'd be curious if you want to write in, what is the career that you are saying you don't have a career? What was the career? Career, it's one of these things where it's so easy for somebody that has found their purpose and passion. They feel like me, and it sounds like you, and to be like, oh, just go do it, and I used to hate when people said that when I didn't. So it's not that simple. And, you just got to take little baby steps, one step at a time. And what I always tell people to do is start with, make a list of all the things that you're really good at, things that people have told you you're good at your whole life, things you're naturally good at, things you may kind of push aside, like, yeah, I'm good at that, but who cares? I used to feel that way about my art when I was younger, when I was a good artist. But I also remember thinking, because somebody had implanted it in my brain at one point, or society, or wherever it came from, that's not going to do me any good. Artists are starving artists. They're never going to make money. I need to become like a lawyer or a doctor or something. And I kind of pushed that off to the side. And it wasn't until years later that I actually realized that not only is that something that I need to make sure is a part of my life, but that's actually what I can use to help propel my career and my finances. And so everything I do has a creative element into it. I'm not necessarily always drawing stuff, but I do some of that stuff. But it's the creative side of my mind I'm constantly using, and that has helped me. So you want to make that list of these things that are, you're really good at, and then also those things, like I said, that you're really passionate about. And don't judge yourself. Just write them down. If you're passionate about movies, write that. Just don't overthink it. Write them down, and then just start to think, okay, what can I do with this? And it may not come overnight, but just be thinking about it and be looking at this list and continue to let it dwell. And it's gonna sink. I promise you, it'll come to you, and you'll be like, okay. And then even if you have a job you may not be thrilled in, you can do the side hustle on the side, and you can start it. Again, it's about action, just one small step at a time. And then that may start to build momentum over on the side. And then before you know it, you're like, okay, I've actually started to build something over here. And this is what really makes me happy. Now I can get rid of this crappy job that I'm just getting for a paycheck. Right. And so, I mean, it's easier said than done. Obviously, it's a lot of people will say, just go out and do what you love. And everybody's got to pay bills, especially now things are tough. But I promise you, if you can figure that stuff out in terms of what you really love, what you're passionate about, and try to, the word purpose, I don't love, but I use it, because it's very intimidating word. Like, what's my purpose? Well, to me, it was more like, so I sold my company and it felt amazing for 10 minutes. And then I was like, okay, now what? Right. And it was such an eye opener for me, because I went from like completely thinking for a period in my life that, just as most people do, that it was all about money. And if I just got enough money, I could sit on the beach, drink a pina colada. This is early on. I mean, fortunately, as I started to evolve and was reading self-help and stuff, I realized it's not. So I already kind of knew that, but then when it happened, it confirmed it. I was like, no, money is not the answer. That's a piece of it. You need to feel secure. But it's about continually moving and growing. And then I'm like, okay, what do I love? What am I passionate about? And that's what I shifted my career to now. And I'm not making any money doing it, but I'm okay for now, because I was able to make enough money in my previous career where I can kind of sustain myself to be able to build this momentum in the meantime.
Dude, it's amazing, bro. You have an amazing story, and everyone that should just re-listen to that or think about everything he just said right there, because money will never buy you happiness. It will never buy you happiness. It's your legacy, it's your career, it's your passions. Those are the things that people are going to remember you by. Remember that. Those are the things that people are going to remember you by. And for the girl that was listening, was it Ann? I'll tell you this. I got a strategy that's been working since I started. If you want to get a job somewhere, okay, this is a real simple tactic you can do. 2 things. First thing is follow the business page on social. Follow them on social, whatever platform you like to use, Instagram, Twitter, or wherever they're at. Sometimes businesses are not on every page, but wherever they're at, follow them, right? And start to engage with their posts. A lot of times you'll actually find that some of the top level management, CEOs, owners, and actually in some small businesses, that's who's managing the social. And then a lot of times it'll be the head marketing director, et cetera. And if you make a good impression there, not only would they might want to hire you actually on the social media team, which I've actually seen happen, they might actually want to hire you in the business for that job because you were just so passionate about their business, willing to help them out, sharing their posts, commenting, engaging on them. And then the other thing you can do, a next step further, is find them on LinkedIn, Will. Find these top people on LinkedIn that own these businesses. A point of advice was to me recently was actually, if you want to sell your business, find out 7 people that you would want to sell it to, right? So think of 7, possible people that would acquire it, and then do this. Go 3 people deep. Who are the top 3 people in that business that would be the most influential people that I could influence to help maybe get that acquisition? And you could probably find them on LinkedIn. And so you could do the same thing with the business if you wanted to not only sell your business, but if you wanted to find a job, is go deeper than just engaging. Now find these people on social and then engage with their personal posts on LinkedIn. And it's a winning strategy. I mean, it's personally a winning strategy. It's not going to happen overnight.
Right.
But why not try? Like, what the heck, dude? Like, why not try something?
Yeah. Just take the action, and you never know where it's going to lead. You got to be proactive in life. If you're I call it's the fixed victim versus a growth owner. If you're a fixed victim, you're like, poor me, I'm just waiting for the end to win the lottery or for it to all be done, retirement, so I can get my retirement check. Like you've already lost before you've even started. But if you're like that growth owner that's like, I got everything within me to kick ass, take names. It's only a matter of time. Obstacles or roadblocks. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get there. Yep. All I got to do is put one foot in front of the other, keep taking action, be proactive, and it'll happen. That is the formula for success for every single person that has ever succeeded. I promise you. And it's not rocket science. It's just continuing to take that action. And if you get a no, if you get rejected, just knowing in your heart, because like I said, when you tie it to your passions and your strengths, like, okay, well, yeah, that didn't work, but I'm going to use that failure as a learning experience, and I'm going to grow forward from it. And that's very tough to do when you're doing something or chasing something that isn't genuinely in your heart, something you want to do.
Yeah, you should just stop doing that right now. I mean, we all sometimes have to do jobs that we don't want to do, right, Will? I mean, that's just life. But this, folks, try to freaking get out of that mindset. Try to get out of the mindset of just only thinking, hey, you can side gig hustle, folks. There's Fiverr, Upwork, whatever your skills at. We look around in your life. I said a really good thing that I did in 2008 and 2009 was I started looking around and I started seeing in my life, oh shit, I got an electronic laptop over there. Oh shit, I got a speaker I'm not using. And I went to ebay.com and I started selling these things. And that actually helped me propel through the tough times in my business, getting it started. To be transparent with you, was just looking around and physically selling things. And then, Will, I did the same thing with the assets in my life. I started looking around and saying, okay, what are my real skill sets? Like, I know I produce music and I spent a lot of time doing that. That was cool. I got the skill set of building this business, a social media business, which is helping clients and growing their social media, getting them customers. We're selling cars and things and direct message, etc. Awesome. But where could you basically spend more time? And I had to cut out the music in 2008, 2009 and said, I need to ramp up fully on my business. And that was the turning point in my life. And so a lot of times it's very hard because it's usually the mirror. You got to look yourself in the mirror and say, what stuff can I cut out of my time and where can I spend more time at with those things that you're good at? Like you talked about, make a list. What am I good at? Do I like photography? Do I like graphic arts? Make a list, right? And then do this. just like go to Fiverr and start putting gigs together, start putting projects together on Upwork, and start bidding for this stuff.
Start experimenting around, seeing what works, what doesn't, and you're going to learn and you're going to grow from it all.
It's for sure, dude.
Fantastic advice.
And you can do it while you're working.
Right, exactly. Right, we're in a very fortunate time in history right now where you can, like, with the internet and technology, you're able to do these types of things. It's not how it used to be. You know,
dude,
if you wanted to make money, you had to go down and you had to go shovel poop, or you had to go, you know, whatever it was, and it's not the same way. So take advantage, people. Well, dude, Travis, this has been unbelievable. Thank you so much for coming.
Absolutely.
on.
Can I give you 5 last tips for people that works on social media right now before we go?
Absolutely. Please do.
First thing is this, guys. Tell your story. Do it in stories. Do it in live. There's so many things you can do right now. Tell your story. Why you're in business. Why you love helping customers. Why you love being you. Second, be funny. Funny always works. Share funny memes on Facebook. Take selfies. Be silly once in a while. Use filters. People like that stuff. Also, third, be emotional. People like to hear the emotions. Why I love being a dad. People get to see that side of me. It's the emotional side, the side I get teary-eyed. People fourth. Motivate people every single day in your life. And lastly, give. We talked about it the whole time. Give, contests, giving, Starbucks. Everyone can give. We all have a little bit of time and money in our pockets. Please, guys, now's the time to give back to your following, to the people you love. So thank you, guys. I really appreciate you so much, Will.
Dude, good stuff, man. Those were fantastic 5 tips to end on. Really appreciate you being on here, brother. Good seeing you. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll talk soon, my man.
Let's go, Will.
Let's go.
I love your 5 core. I love the 5 core, baby. Let's go.
All right, thanks, brother. We'll talk soon, man.
That's it for the 5 Core Life podcast with Will Moore. I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. If you have not already, please make sure to follow and subscribe to the podcast so that you get notified when an episode drops every week. If you haven't joined the 5 Core Life Facebook group yet, I encourage you to also join that and see what all the fuss is about. There's some really great, awesome content there designed to get your momentum going, including a monthly giveaway where you can win a complimentary coaching call with the Will Moore himself. The Facebook group is currently the only place to get Will's dedicated attention and support on your 5 Core journey. If you're feeling stuck or just want someone to cheer you on, that's the place that you need to be. There's nothing like a community of people on the same journey to get you fired up, kicking butt, and taking names. So come join us.
Well, get moving. Gain momentum. Join the movement. Join Emmett by going to moremomentum.com to take a free life evaluator quiz on where you currently stand in each of your 5 cores.